what I'm going to start out talking today about is what I call why women experience money malfunctions. And the very first one is, I think we'll all agree, that we're nurturers and we're caregivers. Would you all agree with that? We give to every single person first before ourselves. Yeah, it really is. We're taught to. It's not just our families, it's society in general that we're taught to take care of everybody but ourselves. And if we try to take care of ourselves, then we get this, that mind saying, you're selfish, you need to be taking care of someone else. And so the thing is that we need to take care of ourselves and still give generously back to others. And here's the reason why. Statistics show that women lose about 15 years from the workforce by staying home and taking care of their families and their parents and their children. And for every year that you're out of the workforce, does anybody want to guess how many years it takes to make up for those lost pensions, smaller paychecks? 5. 5 years for every year that you're out. The average caregiver loses about $659,000 over a lifetime in benefits. Now, I am not telling you not to stay home and take care of your families and your children. What I am telling you is you also need to take care of yourself financially. When you're on the airplane and you're getting ready to fly, what do the flight attendants tell you when the oxygen mask comes down? Put yours on first and then take care of the others. It's the same thing with money and being a nurturer or caregiver. You need to take care of yourself first and then continue to take care of others. Now, for many years, I had a message in my head that I was selfish. And it was a childhood message. And I always thought I was selfish until I read the definition of selfish. And I'm going to say this twice because I think it's very powerful. It's also in my book. You are selfish when you are not doing what the other person wants you to do. You are, Marcia, you are selfish because I'm not doing what the other person wants me to do. So I'm going to encourage you, if you don't like the word selfish, use the word self-care. I'm going to encourage you to have a little self-care for yourself. It's a good thing. Number 2 is we insist on being perfect. And this really puts women behind the curve because by the time we realize that we don't have to be perfect, that there are resources out there to help us, we have lost valuable time. And you're going to see later in my presentation what time does. It really costs us financially when we wait. We're afraid of failure. We don't make investments because we're afraid we'll lose money. So the reality is we probably have more to lose by not doing anything. And it goes back to that Eleanor Roosevelt quote, you have to do the thing you're afraid of. Number 4 is we don't think we're smart enough. But studies show that women often make better investment decisions than men. So we are smart ladies because we do a more thorough job of investing or investigating before we invest. Number 5, and unfortunately this is still a big one. Ladies, our husbands are probably not going to take care of us. Not to say they're not good husbands, but husbands die, we get divorced, things happen, and Prince Charming is not coming. So if you think he's coming on a white horse, get over it, he's not coming. The bottom line is at some point in your life, you are probably going to be the sole person responsible for your finance. And here's where what statistics say. Approximately 50% of marriages end in divorce. And I've been telling people 60% of second marriage, and somebody corrected me the other day and said it's more like 75. 58% of marriages end with the husband's death. The average age of widowhood is 56. According to the 2000 census, women are more than 4 times likely than men to be widowed. Women outlive men by an average of 7 to 10 years. And this is the really scary one. 80% of widows who are living in poverty were not poor before their husbands died. So, ladies, I'm not telling you to get rid of your husbands. And husbands, I want you to stay around. But the statistics really do show that we need to be taking care of ourselves financially. And still, whether we're with our spouse or not, or partner, or whatever. And you all should know that a man is not a financial plan. All right, this is a bumper sticker from my friends Candace Barr and Janita Wall with WIFE, Women's Institute for Financial Education. And most men, they don't want to be a financial plan. It's kind of who made them in charge of the money. Okay, number 6. We think we have to do it alone. but we don't have to do it alone. There are plenty of resources out there for you to learn about money. And the question I want to ask you is, if you know a foreign language, did you learn it in one day? Did you learn it taking one class, going to one conference, listening to one tape, reading one book, taking one test? No. And would you all agree that money is like a foreign language? We didn't learn it in school. Where did we learn money? And we were talking about this last night too. Would you cut your own hair? The other thing I was thinking is, especially for women, and there's not to say that there's not some of you that would do this, but would you change your own oil in your car? Would you go fix your car by yourself? Do you have that knowledge? Why do we think we have to do it alone? There are fabulous financial advisors out there to help you. They can be good educators and mentors. But you can read a book. I'll have a book now. Came with the registration. I made this book pretty easy to read. You can start a book club. You can get a money buddy, someone to talk about money. Because do we ever talk about money? No, we're taught money's not a nice thing to ask about. Start talking about it. Okay, yeah, I hear the laughing. This is the one that can get us, ladies. We use shopping as retail therapy. And I have to be very careful because I can do this too. We make that trip to the mall after we've had a bad day at work. If we get a promotion, if we've had a good day at work, we want to spend time with our girlfriends. We use shopping as retail therapy. This can really hurt you financially. So you need to find another way of celebrating. Now, just as an example, if you're not familiar with it, when you write a book, what happens is you get an advance. You get your first advance when you sign the contract, and you get the first half, and then the second half of the advance comes when the book is finished. So I got my second half of my advance about a year ago. Well, no, I got it about a year ago. What do you think the first thing that went through my mind when I got that money? Shopping! Yeah, what should I buy what should I do to treat myself for finishing this accomplishment? And then I went, I don't need anything. I don't want anything. I don't. And then I said to myself, you know what I've always wanted to do is hire a personal trainer and get myself in shape, because I hate to exercise. I need to pay somebody that's going to hold me responsible, that's going to say, no, you need to do, whatever. You can't quit. That's what I did. Now, I still spent the money, but I stopped, I thought, and I made a conscious decision. I did not go to the mall and shop. So don't let shopping do you in, that retail therapy. Find another way to celebrate. We don't trust ourselves. And this goes back to the fear thing. We're afraid we're going to make a mistake, so we simply do nothing. This is a biggie. We take the out of sight, out of mind approach. We think that bad things don't happen to good people. You know what? Unfortunately, they do. So we need to get prepared for this. And there was a story of a woman in my book. She and her husband both worked for the federal government. They were both retired. He'd been retired maybe 5 years. She had gone out on a disability. So they had pretty good income. He refused to write a will. He just wouldn't do it. And one morning, and this was in 2000, she was upstairs taking a shower. He was downstairs. He had a heart attack. He called 911. He unlocked the front door, and then he collapsed and died. She was still in the shower. Okay? Overnight, her income went from $6,000 to $1,200 a month. Her mortgage payment was $1,700. He didn't have a will. He refused to ever discuss it. If you don't already know this, 70% of Americans don't have wills. That is not a good thing. I will not go into it anymore other than to tell you she had a very difficult time for a very long time. Get prepared, because bad things do happen to good people. We don't want to think about it, but it does. Number 10, we're too busy, so we just do nothing. Now, they did a survey a couple of years ago, and they found that half of the women that were interviewed, and this includes women that made over $100,000 a year, had a fear that they were going to be bag ladies in their retirement years. So I encourage you to carve out some time to sit down with your husband, your partner, your whatever, whoever you're with, and start to talk about money. Engage in those conversations.